Welcome back, guys. We're going to take a look at the first practice question for angles. Now, this one has there are a few different ways of looking at it, so we're going to run through at least a couple and just kind of pick the one that makes the most sense according to whatever math brain you got going on. So the first thing that they tell us is that the x is equal to 25 degrees. So when we take that information back to our fancy little picture here, we see that these two x's together must be equal to 50. Okay, and one way of looking at this is that if you see right here, there's a straight line. And we know that all straight lines add up to 180 degrees. So I can 180 degrees. And so what is actually equal to the 180 degrees? We said before we have two x's, so that's 50. Plus they gave us 60. And the last part of it is z. All of these guys together add up to 180. And I can actually then just solve for z and get my final answer, which comes out to 70. Now, alternately, you may see that these two x's are equal to 50, so that the vertical angle here is also equal to 50. It actually gets you back to the same equation because you'll have 50 plus 60 plus z all adding up to 180 and gets us our beautiful final answer. Z is equal to 70. So let's move on and take a look at the second one. Now, as we take a look at practice question 2, it would be a good time to remind ourselves that none of the figures on the SAT are actually drawn to scale. So please don't make the mistake of looking at it and assuming anything. All the information that you need will be marked for you, but don't kind of line it up with your eye and assume any measurements, okay? Now, look, trying to get W initially, we have actually, there are again a couple different ways of looking at it. I may start in this neighborhood and I see that this is perpendicular. There's a 90-degree angle here. That helps me because that means that this here is also perpendicular. So if I want to find the measurement, the missing measurement, the angle here, I know that it's 90 minus 60, which gets us to 30. And then I know that 30 plus W, again, it is a straight line, so it's equal to 180 degrees. That means that W is equal to 150 degrees. Okay? And beautiful, we're done. Let's take a look at the third practice question. Question number 3, I came up with because I really want to emphasize that with the angle stuff, you usually have a lot of choices, and you don't need 5 ways to get it right, but the more flexible you are, the better off you'll be throughout the SAT math sections. So we're going to run through a couple different ways to think about this. They asked me what y is, so I've got my y here. And one way I might think about the graph here is that this again is perpendicular, which means that this angle here is also going to be perpendicular. Now perpendicular, we know, gets us a right angle, which is 90 degrees. I also know that this y and the vertical angle right across from it are equal. So it's almost like there's a y right here also, which would mean that the 90 degrees that we just saw is equal to y plus 35, and y, the final value is 55. Alternately, I could use again a straight line, which is 180 degrees. And I see that there's a 90 degrees of it is here, plus the y, which is here, And again, if I know my vertical angles, I see that the part that we're missing is equal to 35 degrees. When it all comes down to it, so I'll go equals y plus 125. And again, my y value here will be 55 degrees. Okay, so that's all for the angle stuff. I'll see you guys in the next lesson.